Well, we were headed south to West Virginia to go look at a truck, but a guy finally messaged me back for another truck, and we turned back around. We're going an hour north. We're gonna go look at that truck, see if it's something that we're interested in. It's got an electrical problem, which, you know, we like that, and the price is right, to say the least. So we'll get up here and see what we can see. Well, there it is. Let's take a look. So far, so good. No check engine lights, nothing weird. I think we need a switch for the wipers. It doesn't work. You can turn the wipers on anywhere you want. Nothing happens. And they've already put the washer button over there. AC doesn't work. We knew that ahead of time. And the lights stay on. I got the alternator charging problem fixed alongside the road. So that worked out. Overall, not a bad truck. Runs really well. 651,000 miles. How weird is that? A wet line on a sleeper truck. And it's got a hobo freight generator already wired into it with outlets in the sleeper. I don't know. Not too bad for a plastic truck. Well, I wanted to video the walk around of this truck and starting it and all that, but unfortunately I couldn't do it where it was sitting. I have to take it on a test drive because the man selling this is Amish. He is Amish. The Amish are not allowed to drive vehicles. His particular ordinance, they are allowed to own them. They just can't operate them. So he had bought this truck because he buys and sells heavy equipment, construction, forestry equipment, that kind of stuff. And he bought this because the guy that transports his equipment that he buys and sells was looking for a new truck, and this Amishman finances all of his equipment and always has ever since he started with him. Unfortunately, this relationship apparently has fallen by the wayside, so he's no longer willing to finance the guy's stuff. So here we are, the truck's up for sale. I had no idea who was selling this truck, didn't pay much attention to it until he walked out of the building and I saw him. And I know him. I've known him for a very long time, so that really takes a lot of the contention and the stress out of buying something like this with an electrical problem, because not because he's Amish, is the fact that I've known him for years. So here's where we're at. He bought it for this guy. It fell through. He just wants to sell it and get his money out of it. It has an electrical problem, as you can see here. I've turned the key off. I'm parked, and the lights are still on. The headlights, the driving lights are still on. That's really the gist of it. This is all still on. So I couldn't video it there because, you know, he's Amish and they don't like to be on camera. So I took it on a test drive so that I could look it over and do my video like I do. So it's a 2012 International Pro Star, 450 horse ISX, 10-speed manual, air brakes, and to combat this problem so it wasn't killing the brand new batteries they put on here, because I didn't realize why the batteries were going bad, so they put new batteries in. They put this disconnect switch here, and this disconnect switch will turn them lights off until you cycle the key again, and then they will turn on and stay on again until you disconnect the battery. Now, some of the features about this thing that are a little bit different than your average, you know, plastic truck is, one, the fact that it has a Harbor Freight generator back here, and this is a 3,000 watt generator, and let's see. Pretty quiet, and it runs well. 124 volts is what it's putting out. Has low oil protection. 12 volt here, which is going to come in handy because the alternator doesn't charge on this truck. So that's one of the electrical problems as well. Parallel outlets, throttle on and off. That'll just leave it on. This is on demand idle. Got a pull start as well. Has a battery inside here on its own. It's not tied into the truck battery, so it can start on its own. And there's two 110 outlets plumbed into the cab, and it's done very well. I like how they did this. You look at the tires, man, it has got all kinds of brand new rubber on it. These Low Pro? Yeah, these are Low Pro 22.5s. It was just serviced. He's getting ready to put it to work, as you can see here. And new airbags. The frame is nice. The axles are nice. All the tires are in good shape. They might have got stuck at some point. You got a few lugs kind of torn off here, but nothing we're concerned about. New airbag, new airbag, new airbag. All those are new. Brake chambers all look good. The frame is beautiful. Check this out. Got a place for chains and binders. Has a wet line kit on it, which, you know, plastic truck, wet line. Don't see that very often. And there's our hydraulic tank and all of our filters and valving. Pretty neat setup truck. Single frame. You know, no real rust jacking between the frame rails and whatever. Now this was a one owner truck up until he bought it. Well, technically, is it one or two? I don't know. It was a Ryder lease truck, and then the company it was leased to, after the lease is up, they purchased it, had Ryder continue with the maintenance, and until they were done with it, and then they sold it off. Tires in the front are knee deep in rubber too. You see these things here. So everything is a Scooby-Doo mystery, I say, where you have to figure out what exactly is going on here and what this was used for. You see the strobe lights up here, so a lot of guys are already thinking this used to pull oversized loads. That's right, it did. Before he bought it, the previous owner used this to move their equipment from state to state. They'd have a job going on, and they'd move equipment that, you know, you couldn't drive from state to state, and then the crews would go out and, you know, they would drive other trucks, which is why this is set up with a generator, because sometimes you'd be parked at a place for an extended period of time waiting on stuff. Got some new airlines here. What's really nice about this box, now if I can get in here, standing down at the bottom, but it's not beat up, it's not dented, it's not broke, it's not cracked. It's in beautiful condition. Looks like I need to adjust that, but yeah, I mean, just a really good, decent truck. Let's go on the inside here. All the body's in good shape. The underside's not rusty. It's very, very clean. Got dual tanks. I think they're 125s. Yeah, 125s on the fuel tanks. Man, look how clean the bottom side is. And the miles are decent. This truck's only got 650 on it, which for 2012, that is fantastic. It's like the grill's missing some push pins here, right in there. I'll have to get with Alan at AMI and see if he can get me some of them. But it's a condo sleeper. Now, the electrical problems, whenever I go look at something and I realize it has electrical problems, I start looking for the clues. You start seeing them here. See all that silicone up here? Yeah, that makes me a little worried. Makes me a little worried. Let's talk about what doesn't work in this truck. What it has, and of what it does have, as you can see, the key is still on. Well, it's not, but everything's powered up. So here's what we have. The wipers don't work on any control, okay? I should straighten this wheel out so it'll be easier to see. So the wipers don't work, the washers did not work, so they did a workaround here for the washers. The cruise control works. The air horn does not. The engine brake switch does not. You should push this and it should come on up here. You have an indicator that comes on. I don't even think it comes on. Look, even says electrical fault. I don't think it even comes on with a bulb test. If you go to accessories, it'll turn off. So there's another clue. Engine brake, see it right here? So the bulb works. It has the ability to come on with the bulb test. It just won't. So the blower goes off, but the ignition's staying on. So what doesn't work? What else? The AC doesn't work. Nothing on the engine brake works. What else? There was something else that didn't work. I can't remember what it is now. All the power windows and power locks work. Now for what I'm fearing is going on here. You saw that silicone up here, and if you look at the floor and see these spots here, you see this here, a little moisture here. I think either the windshield or that visor mount is leaking up here and letting water down here into the dash. Sometimes I saw a couple of these switches, were blinking with the key off. So that could be an indicator as well, because what we're looking for is likely something that has the ability to have constant power and ignition power in the same unit, which is like a lot of times would be our radio. We could backfeed through the radio. If we had water coming in down here and it shorted out on the radio, then, you know, we could have something that's, see, we have power here, power off, and we have ignition power. So if we turn that off and turn the ignition on, you see how it backlit. You could have ignition power in here too. Those two could be one over the other. So we have to figure out how is this. What I believe is happening is the ignition side of the body control module is staying on, but also we have things that aren't working. Like I said, air horn, the brake. I don't know if the radio works through that controller or not. I suppose we could find out. Nothing. Volume works. Oh, yeah, it is working. It is changing. Okay. So that works. Now we just shut off. We're in the off position. If we hit the power button again, it will turn on. But anyhow, and then we have this here, an extra USB charging port here. We'd have to consider that. Anything else extra that's been added on. I pointed out that the generator is separate because I wouldn't want anybody to think it's backfeeding to the generator or the controls for the generator. It's only controlled out there. There's nothing to the generator tied to here, just the 110 plugs that come through. This is apparently the logging device, and it comes down here into, used to be hooked up to the diagnostic link right there, which it's unplugged now, so we can eliminate that possibility. We do have power takeoff. This is just a light, but even so, we'd want to explore the idea that that could be part of the problem here. Otherwise, the truck is pretty nice, and these Internationals have a pretty common problem. Like if you look right here, you can see how it's discolored here, and I don't think that's cigarette smoke. I think that's from water and moisture. You see this? If this is getting water in it, you get all this crud coming down through here. Look at this dirt and dust comes down through here and up from above. Anyways, these things have a problem apparently sealing where the fiberglass cap meets the body, the cab, and that is evident by this right here. You can see how, I mean, it's dry today. These are just stains, but you can see the stains here. don't know if there's anything else in here you can see, maybe a little here. But yeah, it's not uncommon for these things to leak where that fiberglass cap meets the body, and you have to basically disassemble this whole interior to find out where the leak is so that you can take care of it. So it's not exactly an easy fix if that's it. It's kind of time consuming, but even so, oh, we got a battery charger in case the batteries die. We can charge it up. That's his, not mine. He gave it to us in the truck. He said, if we take the truck, we might need it. But you can see just how the cap sits on here, and somebody's tried to seal it already, it looks like. But I'm thinking they missed it. I'm wondering, really wondering if the problem isn't here. Look around these screws, there's like no seal here. If it's coming in there, if it's coming in through here, well, that's cracked. If that's cracked, that could be leaking right there. Or right in here where there's no sealer. I don't know. I don't care for this. I think this is, I don't think that was sealing anything. Anyways, oh yeah, look at that. You can see how the fiberglass is separated right over in that area. So regardless, it needs sealed, and I'd have to start with that before I try and find the problem. This stuff doesn't hold well. Yeah, look here, you got a tear right there. I don't know if that's showing up, it's so bright. But there's a separation right there. So this is something, if you use this crap, you have to keep up with it, because this is what you'll get. Water will run down here, just like you see these streaks, and it'll come right into here. Once it's in behind that sealer, it can travel anywhere it needs to. Anyways, that's if there's no cracks in the fiberglass. So, what do we think of the truck? If this truck was running and driving with no troubles at all, probably, I don't know, depending on what area you're in, could be as high as mid-20s, could be low 20s, could be high teens. So what can you pay for a truck like this for this kind of troubles, you know? As far as I'm concerned, none of this really bothers me too much, because the value to me is in the motor, the transmission, the wet line kit, and the chassis. If I had to swap this out to a day cab and put a regular sleeper on, an integral, or not integral, the opposite, a separate sleeper, well, I'd be okay doing it, because the drive line's worth it to me. But there's enough piece of the puzzle here, you know. You can see, I think they were using that wet line with an RGN of some sort, and using the plate back here to hold the RGN up when they pulled away. So anyways, I'm gonna go back and see if we can make a deal on it. Leave in the comments, what do you think we should pay for this truck? Keep in mind, we don't see too many trucks with this clean of a frame, that clean of a rear end, even though the ride height valve's got to be set wrong. There's no way that it should be this high. That pinion angle's too tall. That'll give us a vibration for sure. I didn't feel anything. Yeah, I don't know if you can tell, but that ride height between here and here is far too great. Same thing up here, because that one controls how much air is in both bags. Actually, I think it's up here. Yeah, it's right into there. There's a ride height valve right there. So anyways, I don't want to be gone too long, but let me know what you think. What should we pay for the truck? And we'll see if we make a deal on it. And the cluster is off, but the lights are still on. Not something I don't think we can fix. I think the problem is going to be in the water coming down through here, either getting into the switches or the body control module, which is right down here in this kick panel, or a combination of both. I think they've just replaced the ignition switch at some point, but see if we can make a deal. Sure runs good, drives good. sometimes I can feel the AC turn on and then it turns off. I'm telling you, I think we got a body control module getting soaking wet and corroded. Maybe we ought to take a look at that before we make a deal, make an offer. Well, I made a deal, so we're gonna head home. You know what I say, man, you really know what you got on the ride home. Well, now comes the hard part. I gotta find a place to park this truck. I'm kind of out of room around here. Oh well, let's see what we can do here. Find a place. Back it in on the other side of the Mac, maybe. If I gotta back it in the yard, I guess I can. The only bummer is I found the problem with the alternator not charging, but then I forgot to get the cover. Well, it was an hour-and-a-half drive. And it made it home. Not too bad at all. It's just like I said, we got some electrical issues, but I don't know that we can't fix them. Most everything works except for the things I said. I haven't come across anything else that doesn't work yet. Yeah, I'll have to show you about the the non-working alternator with the bad connection. You're not gonna believe this. Let me get out here and show you. So when I started thinking about the body control module, and then I went and looked at the alternator, I thought maybe the body control module controlled the charging of the alternator. And I looked at the alternator. No, it was just a standard alternator like you'd seen on so many trucks. And I come down here and I'm like looking at this and I'm like, geez, this is so ridiculous. But I guess it takes care of the problem. And then I've traced the wires back, and this is all was wrong with it. They forgot to hook this line up when they put the batteries on. That's why the alternator wasn't charging, because they never put that on. I forgot to get the cover from him for that, so I'm gonna see if if he has it and if we can get it. But overall, I think I'm pretty happy. Let me know what you guys think we paid for it, what we had to give for it, and we'll see how close somebody comes. Plan A, like I always say. We find the problem, fix the problem, and we use the truck, because this will suit us pretty well if I get like a land-all trailer or a sliding axle or a hydraulic dovetail trailer, something like that I could use this with, or an RGN, that'd be okay. All my chains are already there, that's pretty cool. Wet line's already here, generator's already there, makes it very convenient. May have to go to taller rubber, maybe, I don't know. Maybe that's why they've got the ride height set so high for their RGN, because it need to be, taller rubber. I really don't know. We'll have to look into that and see. But so that's plan A. We fix it and we use it. Plan B, we fix it, we sell it. Plan C, we sell it broke, tell people it's broke. Or plan D, God, we never get this far. We change a body out, do away with that big cap that leaks like that, go to a standard cab, just a regular cab, and put a sleeper on it, which we could do because I have another one of those cabs. Or we just part the truck out. There's a lot of good parts here, man. There's a lot of money in parts. Motor, transmission, being a 10-speed, I think it's an overdrive. I didn't run the VIN or anything, but I think that's an overdrive transmission. The wet line kit and everything else you see. But leave in the comments, guys, what do you think now that we got this back? The next video you're gonna see, we're gonna go back to going to West Virginia. This was like a 5-hour, somewhere around 5-hour detour to go get this. So anyways, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Catch you on the next one. Let me know if you've run into the same problem like I'm talking about with this water leak. Let me know.